Hello everyone, how are you? Can everyone hear me okay? You can just say something in the chat box. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I want to welcome you to today's presentation. It's regarding opportunities for PhD degrees in the United States by LASPAU. And my name is Lorraine Hanley, and I'm the program manager for LASPAU's administration of the Science Without Borders program. So today's presentation will exclusively feature the Science Without Borders program, and this is a government scholarship program from the country of Brazil. So Brazilian nationals are those that are allowed to apply for this program. And so the agenda for the webinar today is we're going to provide you with an overview of LASPAU. We're going to discuss the Ciencias Sin Fronteras PhD scholarship program, and we're going to end the session with a brief Q&A. So a little bit about LASPAU. LASPAU is a nonprofit organization affiliated with Harvard University, and we have a very strong commitment to promote social and economic development in Latin America and the Caribbean through a long-term investment in education. So we help facilitate academic exchange program, leadership program for faculty around Latin America. We have quite a number of things that we do in Latin America and the Caribbean. We were founded in 1964, and we are located in Cambridge, Mass. We are an organization of about 40 people, and our staff members offer extensive linguistic, cultural, educational, and practical experience in the region of Latin America and the Caribbean. And we administer scholarships for several program sponsors, such as Science Without Borders, Ciencias Sin Fronteras, but we also sponsor and administer scholarships for Fulbright, which is a U.S. Department of State scholarship, the OAS, the Organization of American States, Colciencias in Colombia, and FINCIT in Peru. And currently we have grantees from 34 countries studying in 28 different countries around the world. And as I mentioned earlier, this presentation is going to be exclusively on opportunities within Science Without Borders. And since 2012, LASPAU has partnered with CAPES and CNPq, the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Science, Innovation, and Technology, and we have been helping these government agencies place their grantees in academic programs in the U.S. and administer scholarship funds. And here's a little bit about the program in case you didn't have any previous information about it. The Science Without Borders program, the Ciencias Sin Fronteras program, is the Brazilian government's flagship scholarship program, launched in 2011, and it was funded by the Brazilian government with additional private sector support, which is great. It's a cross-collaborative initiative. And this scholarship program focuses on specifically the STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you're a Brazilian national or a Brazilian permanent resident interested in pursuing an advanced degree in those fields, you can apply for academic placement through LASPAU. But this is a very large scholarship program by the government, and they are providing this scholarship at all different levels. At the undergraduate level, it's a one-year exchange. At the master's level, they have master scholarships, a PhD level, which is administered by LASPAU, and there are other postdoc opportunities as well. But LASPAU is only working with the PhD component of the scholarship. And we are accepting applications for the Ciencias Sin Fronteras scholarship until September 1st, 2014. So we'll explain how to apply for the scholarship, but we're doing this presentation with College Week Live this week because we want to encourage you to prepare your application and apply before the deadline and take advantage of this really, really good opportunity. So let's talk about scholarship requirements. To be eligible for the scholarship, you must be a Brazilian citizen or a foreign citizen with a Brazilian permanent visa. You must have taken the TOEFL exam or the IELTS exam. Those are two English language proficiency exams. And on the TOEFL exam, you need a minimum score of 79 IBT or 500 PBT, that's the paper-based test. And on the IELTS, you need a minimum score of 6.0 overall band score to be eligible for the scholarship. Those are the only two English proficiency exams that are accepted. No other English language proficiency exam is accepted. If you want to be considered for academic placement in the United States, you must take the GRE General Revised Test, which is an exam that's required by U.S. universities in order to apply for a graduate program. And you must have received a bachelor's degree on or before June 30th, 2015, and that goes for any other degrees you may be enrolled in as well. The minimum eligibility is a bachelor's degree, but if you are currently enrolled in a master's degree or other professional degree, you need to have finished that degree by June 30th, 2015, because academic placement in the PhD program will be for August or September 2015. So we need to make sure that that you've completed any degrees you have pending beforehand. And you have to demonstrate academic and professional interest in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So with regard to the application process, you need to identify which Ciencias Sin Fronteras priority area you wish to study. You must take the TOEFL or the IELTS before August 15th, 2014. You must submit your LASPAU application and your CMPQ application by September 1st, 2014. And you must have taken your GRE Revised General Test by October 1st. There are more extensive details on how to apply on our website, and I'll bring you to the website at the end of the presentation. But with regard to the LASPAU and the CMPQ application that you have to submit, the way it works is you have to apply to CMPQ for the scholarship. CMPQ is the organization that approves you to work with LASPAU, and they also approve your scholarship at the end of the process. So your CMPQ application is super, super important. And then your LASPAU application is important in order to be approved for LASPAU academic placement services. So CMPQ is deciding who gets the scholarship, and LASPAU decides who gets academic placement services to be placed in the program in the U.S. That starts August 2015 or September 2015. And here are the benefits of working with LASPAU on your academic placement. We coach you through the whole application process. You're assigned, each grantee is assigned a placement specialist who works with them to review their university application documents. So that means helping you to improve your statement of purpose, your CV, and helping educate you and your recommenders about what makes a solid letter of recommendation for a U.S. university. We also provide you information about U.S. universities and programs, and we really work with you to help find the best fit for you with regard to your academic interests and your academic profile. And we will collaborate with you individually to create a university application submission plan. Each grantee is able to apply to up to 5 universities through LASPAU, and then they also may apply to additional universities on their own. We will assist you in completing the online graduate application, and we pay the application fees, and we submit the required documents to U.S. universities to support your application as well. And then we also request tuition funding on your behalf, and we do that on behalf of CNPq as well, because we help save the Brazilian government money so that they're able to offer more scholarships in the future to additional grantees. And then once you're placed in an academic program, LASPAU helps you with immigration services, so we're responsible for issuing the DS-2019 for the J visa. If you come to the U.S. to study under the Science Without Borders Scholarship, you are obligated to come under a J visa. We also disperse your grant funds, so we make direct payments to universities for your tuition, fees, and health insurance, and we make sure that those are paid on time. Ciências Sem Fronteiras grantees will receive their living stipend payments directly from the funder, directly from CNPq. We help monitor your academic progress, and we provide scholarship reports for the funders, and we provide you with general academic and program and scholarship support. So any issue that comes up, we serve as a liaison between you, between the funder, and between the U.S. university to help get the situation resolved in the best way possible. So last year, we worked with dozens of Science Without Borders grantees, and we placed them at a number of universities across the U.S., and this is just a sampling of where the grantees went to school. So Arizona State, Colorado State, Georgia Tech, Rice University, Stanford, University of California, Davis, University of Los Angeles, and the list goes on and on. Last year we worked to place approximately 80 Ciências Sem Fronteiras grantees. This year we're working with over 300 that have been placed in programs that begin this August, September 2014. And we have received admissions from over 123 universities across the U.S. And for more information about the Science Without Borders program, the Ciências Sem Fronteiras program, including information on how to apply, please visit our website at www.laspau.harvard.edu. And then you can also follow us on other social media as well. And we're also providing you here with the website for the Ciências Sem Fronteiras program, the government website. And so thank you very much. I'm ready to answer questions if you have any. So I have a question here asking, is there an age limit to participate in Ciências Sem Fronteiras? There isn't an age limit at all, and so we actually have grantees that vary and range in age. There are a few things that do make you ineligible for scholarship consideration. You cannot be retired. So you need to be working, holding a job, but you can't be retired, which may signify that you're older. You need to, or let's just say you can't be currently enrolled in a PhD program. So if you're currently enrolled in a PhD program, you're ineligible to apply for the full doctorado pleno abroad, in that case, the component of the program, of the Ciencias Sin Fronteras program that you should apply to is the doctorado sandwich, which is the one-year academic exchange if you're already enrolled in a PhD program. Also, you cannot currently hold a PhD, so you can't be enrolled in the PhD program and you can't already have finished a PhD, and then you can't be a U.S. citizen or a U.S. permanent resident and study in the program in the United States, because the program does require you to hold a J visa. And if you're a permanent resident or a citizen, you cannot hold a J visa while studying in the U.S. Okay, I'm going to go through the questions. Here's a question. Hi, I have a bachelor degree in computer science. I'm looking for master degree programs and also for scholarships. So Ciencias Sin Fronteras does have a master's component to the scholarship, and that just started this year. That component of the scholarship is not administered by LASPAU. It's administered by IIE, the Institute of International Education. So I would recommend that you go on that website to learn more about that component of the program. The question is, why are we only giving scholarships to Brazilians? LASPAU is an organization that focuses specifically on Latin America and the Caribbean, and partnering with governments and private sector organizations to facilitate academic exchange and create scholarships. So that just simply is the region of focus of the organization. And we are focusing on, in this session, specifically on Brazil, because this is the scholarship program that we have open right now that's accepting applications. We are working with Fulbright in all the Latin American countries, and that scholarship program is finishing up their application cycle. So the Fulbright application in some of the Latin American countries has closed, and so right now we're just focusing on the scholarship program that's open and that's accepting application, and that happens to be Brazil Ciencias Sin Fronteras program. Okay, I'm just looking through the questions. How important is the GPA for the program? How do I convert from Brazilian Standard GPA to USA GPA? GPA is very important, just simply because to get into a PhD program in the US, you have had to exhibited some academic excellence in your undergraduate studies or in your graduate studies. I wouldn't worry about converting your Brazilian GPA to a 4.0 scale that we use in the US, because typically when we do send the applications on your behalf to the universities, most universities have in-house transcript evaluators that will do the conversion. However, what I can say with regard to what an acceptable GPA is, most graduate programs require a minimum of a 3.0 GPA in order to be considered for admission. So that's 3.0 out of a 4-point scale. Please note though that while GPA is an extremely important component of your graduate application, they also look at other components as well. They look at your TOEFL score or your IELTS score. They look at your GRE scores. Also, they look at your research that you've conducted and your work history. So many universities will take all those factors into account, not only GPA. Is LASPAU only working on behalf of CNPq or also on behalf of CAPES? We're working on behalf of both CAPES and CNPq. So each organization is taking turns on administering scholarships. So the grantees that we just placed this year, the 300 plus grantees that we placed in programs beginning this fall, are all CAPES grantees, and we're going to be continuing our work with them actually as we monitor their academic progress and their programs and disperse their scholarship. The grantees that we are placing for programs that begin in August, September of next year are going to be CNPq grantees. And so the application that you fill out when applying is going to be a CNPq application. So we're working with both organizations, and they're taking turns sponsoring the PhD grantees. How many scholarships do we have for Pakistani Bachelor students? We do not have any scholarships for Pakistani Bachelor students or students from India. There was another question about from an Indian student about possible scholarships. LASPAU only focuses on Latin America and the Caribbean. Can you please explain how the GRE works? Yes, absolutely. So the GRE is a standardized exam that is required by U.S. universities for graduate admission. And there are three components of the exam. There is a verbal component, a math component, and an analytical writing component. It's very, very important to score well on this exam, because many schools will take this test score into account. And especially if you're aiming to apply to very competitive schools, then it's extremely important to have a good test score. I would recommend that you take a few months to study for this exam, because this exam is even hard for U.S. students. It can be very challenging for them. So LASPAU does do webinars on the GRE exam as well. You can visit our website and read the information that we have available on the GRE exam, and we may have a webinar up, a recorded webinar up that gives you more information about it. If there isn't one up right now, then we will be doing webinars in the future, so so you can participate in a live webinar in the future. So the question is, hi, I would like to apply to a nursing PhD program in the U.S. Is nursing eligible for this scholarship and LASPAU placement? And the answer is yes, it is eligible. If you're doing a PhD in the medical field or health sciences, then your PhD program must be research-based. It cannot be a professional PhD program or a credentialing PhD program. It has to be research-based. And so yes, it is possible to be to receive the scholarship for the nursing field, and it's possible to get placement from LASPAU for that. We have placed a couple nurses in the past, and please visit the LASPAU website, our how to apply page for the Science Without Borders Scholarship, and we have an FAQ, and we have a question that specifically talks about the medical professions. Okay, looking through. If I apply through CAPES, can I still apply for placement services offered by LASPAU? Absolutely, you can. So what you should do is submit both applications. Okay, you actually need to submit both applications. You need to submit the application. It's actually to CNPq, but you have to submit the application to CNPq for consideration for the scholarship, and then you also submit an application to LASPAU for academic placement services. If you already have an admission from a U.S. university, you should not apply to LASPAU. We only work with students who do not have admission to a university who are seeking to gain admission. So if you do have a graduate admission from a U.S. university, then all you have to do is fill out the CMPQ application. But if you're seeking admission, then you apply to us, and please be aware that CMPQ has a special link for those students that are working with LASPAU that do not have university admission. They have a special link to an application. So you can find that link through the LASPAU website, but that link is also available through the Science Without Borders website. And the reason why I say it's a special link is that in the regular Science Without Borders application, you are required to upload an admission letter to your application. Obviously, if you're seeking placement services, you would not have an admission letter. So that the special application for the LASPAU applicants does not obligate them to upload an admission letter. Okay, let me look through the questions. Okay, so we don't work. The question is, do you guys provide accommodations, since some of us are from Africa and we don't have relatives in the U.S. We don't work with grants that sponsor African academic exchange programs, so our focus is only Latin America. The question is, should I submit the GRE score by October 1st, or can I take the test by this date and submit the score later? You can take the exam on October 1st and submit the score later, that's fine, but you absolutely have to take the test by October 1st. In fact, when you take the test, what you're going to do is you're going to mark LASPAU as one of the recipients of your score reports, and then ETS will automatically send us a copy of your score report, and it takes 2 to 3 weeks for us to get it. So, but absolutely sign up for the test and take the test by October 1st. Also, just so you know, when you take the GRE exam, you're able to see your verbal and your quantitative score right away. So after you take the exam, you'll know how you did on those 2 sections. Okay, so this question is from Livia from Salvador, Brazil. Do you know about the deadline from CMPQ? Is it the same deadline of LASPAU? We have another deadline of 6/30/2014. So we've been in talks with CMPQ. We understand and we know that CMPQ has 3 different chamadas open and those are our calls for applications. So what they essentially want you to do is apply for or submit the CMPQ application right away, and they will be working with us and giving us the names of the applicants that they approve for LASPAU placement services all the way through September 1st. So what's on the Ciencias Sin Fronteras website right now with regards to the chamada, that's not necessarily applicable to the U.S. So even though there are these specific deadlines listed for the U.S. placements or for the grantees who want to study in the U.S., they will be sending us applications until September 1st, 2014. The question is, can I send my GRE score after I send my application to LASPAU? And the answer is yes. So you should definitely do your LASPAU application first, and then take the GRE whenever you can before October 31st. We think it's very important that you have time to study for that exam, because it's a very important exam. The question is, do we need an official translation of required documents such as final transcripts in order to apply for LASPAU placement services? When we opened the application back in March, we were asking for translations, but we've since removed that requirement. And so the answer is no, you do not have to submit a translation of your transcripts. Simply upload a copy of your transcripts. And we understand that you might currently be taking courses, and so you might not have the finalized transcripts. That's totally fine. Upload the most current version of your transcript to our online application. You do not have to get translations. And if you're chosen to go to, if you're selected by CMPQ and LASPAU to work with us for during the application placement process, then at that point you will have to send us hard copies of your official transcript and accompanying translations, official translations. However, for now, for the application, you do not need to send us translations, just a scanned copy of your transcripts. Okay, so there's a question about what we specifically provide, and it's a vague question, but I'll assume that you're referring to the scholarship, what the scholarship provides. So the Science Without Borders Scholarship can pay for university tuition, fees, and university health insurance for the grantee, and the grantee will receive a monthly living stipend of $1,300 a month or $1,700 a month, depending on where they live in the U.S. But for the vast majority of the U.S., the living stipend is $1,300 a month. There's a question on the department selection of the recipients of our GRE TOEFL scores on the ETS website. Which ones should we choose for LASPAU? So that question is answered on our FAQs, which is on our website. Let me see if I have that answer on hand here, because we have a specific answer for that. And actually I don't have it in front of me, but that should be on our website, so you can take a look. I'll take a look right now to see if I can quickly find it. 1 second. Okay, it says have the Educational Testing Service, ETS, send your official TOEFL score reports to LASPAU. LASPAU's institutional code is 3492. If a department code is required, enter graduate studies. That's what it says. Okay, so there's a question about the translation of documents. So again, for the LASPAU application at this time, you do not have to translate documents. Just uploading your most current transcript in your native language, Portuguese, is fine. When you're chosen to work with LASPAU, and we go through the process of collecting the documents for your graduate applications, at that time you will have to send us copies of your university certified copies of your transcript and official translations. So by official translation, what we mean by a professional translator. So you can go to an Education USA office and ask for translation services, or you can find another professional translation services, but it has to be a professional translator. And you cannot, we cannot accept translations done by you or by someone who doesn't have that credential. And again, if you're interested in learning how to apply for this scholarship, just go to the LASPAU.harvard.edu page, and then you can find the link to the Science Without Borders scholarship, and then read about how to apply. There's extensive research there. And there are other students from other countries that are not in LASPAU's region of focus, which is Latin America and the Caribbean, who are asking about how to identify and apply for scholarships. So I can't really give it extensive feedback on that, but you can look to see if your government is offering any scholarships for study abroad. Also sometimes, or many times, Fulbright will have scholarship opportunities available, and you can be a Fulbright foreign scholar who, you win the Fulbright scholarship in your country, and then you come to the U.S. for your studies. Okay, this question says, hi, the Ciencias Sin Fronteras website states that we need a curriculum from a mastermind, from an advisor, I think. Is that true? That's only if you have PhD admission. If you have PhD admission, then CMPQ wants you to submit a curriculum vitae for your advisor. If you don't have PhD admission, then there is a special link for those people who are working with LASPAU on placement, and you can access that link through our LASPAU How to Apply page, and that link should also be available on the Ciencias Sin Fronteras website. That link only became available at the end of, that link only became available last Monday, so it's a relatively new application that they posted. So if you do not have PhD admission to a U.S. university, you should be using that special application, because that application does not obligate you to upload an admission letter or a curriculum vitae for a potential advisor. So and this is a question about LASPAU services again, because some people just joined the conversation. So LASPAU is partnering with CAPES and CMPQ from the Brazilian government to help place the Science Without Borders grantees, the Ciencias Sin Fronteras grantees, in PhD programs across the U.S. And we provide the academic placement services. We coach you through the application process for U.S. universities, and we support your application, and we send required documents to universities and pay application fees. And then when you start your program, we administer the scholarship. And by the way, this presentation is being recorded, so you can go back and view earlier components of the presentation. Okay, so this question is from Tiago. I was in a one-year exchange program during my undergraduate through Science Without Borders. Do you think it's relevant to submit my official transcript from the foreign university to LASPAU? Yes, it's relevant, and it's actually very necessary, because that's going to be a critical component of your application to U.S. universities. Any study that you have done abroad in the U.S. under Ciencias Sin Fronteras, or in whatever other country with whatever other program, you have to submit all your foreign scholarships, all your foreign transcripts to us, because that becomes a part of your application. And we got a thank you from Mariana Mendez. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're able to attend the webinar, and please be in touch with us through our website, Facebook, Twitter, because we're going to be having additional webinars for the Ciencias Sin Fronteras applicants with more specific information on how to apply, on the GRE test, the TOEFL, and other really important things that you're going to need to prepare. And again, here's a question saying that on the CMPQ application, you have to submit an approval letter for the U.S. university. But if we're approved for LASPAU placement services, will you provide us with some substitute document to replace those? The answer is no, we don't provide you with substitute documents. You need to fill out a special application form that CMPQ has provided for students who do not have PhD admission, and that application form is available through our website. So there's a question if you can stay in the country after the Ciencias Sin Fronteras program is already completed. And the answer is no. You need to return to the U.S. I mean, you have to return to Brazil, because that's required by the government. And also studying under the J1 visa requires you to return to your home country eventually. The Ciencias Sin Fronteras program it's a 4-year scholarship program, and you may know or you may not know, but the fact is, in the U.S. it often takes more than 4 years to complete a PhD. So if you need an extra year, if you need a 5th year to complete the program, then you can request permission from CMPQ to stay in the U.S. for 1 additional year to finish up your program. However, that 5th year is unfunded. There is no funding the 5th year. However, by that time, the U.S. university should be able to find funds for you, or you'll be able to find funds from another source that can keep you there for a 5th year. So it won't be too hard to find funds. It's quite possible, but please note that if you stay for a 5th year, then it's unfunded. At least by CMPQ, it's unfunded. And then after your 4th or 5th year, depending on if you get that 1-year extension, you do have to return to Brazil. The question is, I already have contact with a potential advisor. Would you recommend I apply via LASPAU? I would say yes. I would say that definitely we're very helpful, even though you have a potential advisor, because we can help you with the graduate application process. Now, we're only placing for August, September 2015, so next year. beginning of next academic year. If you're looking to begin a program before that, in January 2015, then you shouldn't apply through us, because we're not offering placement services for that period. And actually, not as many U.S. universities offer, will allow you to begin in January, which is spring semester. Some do, some don't. But even if you already have a potential advisor, yeah, it would be a good idea to work with us, because we can help you create the best application possible, and we can help you identify other universities you might want to apply to. So the question is, I will finalize my degree in June 2015, so I can send my transcripts incomplete, and the answer is yes. So essentially, if you're completing a degree right now, you're currently enrolled, what we're going to require for your graduate applications is your most up-to-date transcript possible, and then also a declaration of enrollment saying, from the university, saying, so this person is enrolled in this university, in this program, with an anticipated graduation date of June 30th, 2015, or May 1st, 2015, whatever that date is. So, so you're able to apply to LASPAU with incomplete transcripts. Just make sure that they're the most recent available, and and then we're also able to apply to PhD programs with incomplete transcripts as well. So the question is LASPAU only for PhD students? We administer a number of scholarships for graduate and PhD programs, and we do work with some undergraduate programs as well. However, for this scholarship, the Ciencias Sin Fronteras scholarship, we're exclusively administering the scholarship at the PhD level. People who are interested in the Ciencias Sin Fronteras scholarship at the undergraduate or at the master's level should contact IIE, Institute for International Education. And there's no agency that is working at the postdoc level for this scholarship. So if someone in this audience is a postdoc, they have to do their academic placement on their own. And we do not have programs for students who are in high school. So are there any other questions specific to Ciencias Sin Fronteras or LASPAU's administration of this scholarship? So just as a reminder, the scholarship is for Brazilian nationals or Brazilians who are not citizens but have permanent resident cards. And I'm just looking down here to see, to look at my notes if there's anything else I can add to this. Okay, well, I think we'll wrap up, but the most important thing is apply to CNPq and apply to LASPAU. And when you apply to CNPq, you want to use the special application link that's posted on their website. It's also posted on our website. That does not obligate you to upload an admission letter to a U.S. university. Because if you're working with LASPAU, we will help you gain admission to a U.S. university to a PhD program. Also, please understand that you do not need a master's degree to apply to a PhD program in the U.S. We work with students who have only bachelor's degrees or who are currently enrolled in bachelor degree programs. So it's quite possible to work with us if you're finishing up your bachelor's degree this year. Okay, so if you have any further questions, I encourage you to visit our website, and there's other contact information on the website. We have some webinars, we have some FAQs, and that might answer any other questions you may have. And please apply. It's a wonderful scholarship. We work with over 200 universities across the U.S. There's no set list of universities that we work with. So there are lots and lots of possibilities for you. Okay, well, thank you very much. I hope you had a lovely, I hope you have a lovely day, and please be in contact with us if you have any further questions. Thank you.